reduce manpower situations, low staff. We all don't have the luxury of having 3 or 4 people on an engine. He's gonna position himself from a position of advantage. What are you gonna hear from the guys in the firehouse? Oh, I had too much meatloaf tonight. Oh my God, I shouldn't eat so much, right? And I'm exhausted and I'm going down the hallway and I'm working. Oh, the nozzle's creeping in. I can't hold it, I can't do it. And we weren't getting water to where it needed to be.
How can you be a better firefighter with less manpower? You learn from a 30-year veteran like Pete Morotto.
You know, well, the patterns, right? I don't if you like O, Z, T, do whatever you want to do. That's a lifesaver.
Pete and the Connecticut Fire Academy training team are experts at getting more with less.
It's not efficient, it's not quick. Make sense? Yep. All right, so let's slide in a little bit.
In episode 8, the fully involved crew tackles 6 critical phases to help you master your next residential fire. Number 1, pre-staging. Where should you charge? Number 2, how do you master the stream check? Number 3, what should you look for when you open the front door? Phase 4, reading those tricky fire conditions. Phase number 5, what nozzle technique does Pete recommend? And finally 6, what can I do to control the hallway and put out the fire? This episode is about 5 times the size of normal episodes, so grab your popcorn or jump around to the phase that's most helpful to you. We're getting fully involved in Connecticut.
My name's Pete Morotto. I'm a career firefighter in Bridgeport, Connecticut. I have 25 years in the service, 30 years altogether. I'm here today at Connecticut Fire Academy. I'm a program coordinator here for 20 years. We had a great opportunity today. We feel we can get our message out about the use of streams, water mapping, and how to be safe and effective on the Fireground. I hope you learned a couple things for it. Take a few tips, put it in your file cabinet. Thank you very much.
Connecticut is the 4th most densely populated state in the country. From Yale University to cities like Hartford, to a larger rural area than you might think. Connecticut sure fits a ton into a small space, with 300 departments in all. Here's the scenario we're tackling today. In New England, you see a lot of Cape Cod style homes. They're compact, they're symmetrical, and they've got a steep roof. There's a fire in the back bedroom, and the engine responding has limited manpower.
Getting to the door, if the objective is going to be a first floor objective, we obviously have this objective, we're going to have fire on the first floor towards the rear of the building.
For equipment, the crew chooses an 1 3/4 line and a smoothbore nozzle with a 7/8 inch tip. Phase 1, pre-staging. Before you make the push inside, what steps can you take to be more successful?
Know what the job is through your size up, through your brief size up. Obviously your 360 and getting everything that encompasses with that. But understand what you're doing for the job, how much hose you need to be off. Residential dwellings, there's going to be schools of thought on where do I charge, why do I charge. My thought, again, is just my thought on it, is a residential dwelling, charge on the exterior of the building. Make sure you have positive water before you move in. A lot of things can go wrong. Smaller compartments, lightweight construction, we all know what goes along with that. All right, you'll notice here we have nozzle and coupling here. We have our first 50 feet. For any residential first floor dwelling, most of the time that 50 feet is going to be enough to get us at least moving and flowing. Reduce manpower situations, low staffing. We all don't have the luxury of having 3 or 4 people on an engine, even though we do preach it and we teach recruits, hey, we got 3 people, nozzle, backup, control. What's the reality of your fire department? Can you really produce that? I work on a fire department, we do have a lot of staffing. So even we can't produce that sometimes. So we have to be smart about what we're going to do with our nozzle work, with our hose work, with our pre-staging. So if we pre-stage and we set up for success, there's a better chance that we can get water to where it needs to be a lot quicker, control the situation, and allow other jobs to be done. With getting into holding the nozzle, so again, we have control over that when we have recruits, right? We teach you how to hold the nozzle, what's beneficial. That's going to be very dependent on where you go, where you end up, and where you work. It's going to be depending on if you have a nozzle and a backup, who your backup is the backup the officer? Is the officer doing other things when they arrive? So you have to figure out now how the nozzle person can go ahead and operate this 1 3/4. Okay, that's the key. And I know some will say, oh, it's not a 1-person line. I'm not disagreeing with you. It's not a 1-person line. But there are times that you're going to have to get water onto the fire with 1 person. And we're going to go over a little bit techniques on how to do that.
Question 2. Wait, so there's more to the stream check than just checking the stream?
We'll go into our stream check. Why is the stream check so important? An ineffective stream check, obviously, and we'll see is an opening and a quick close. What are we really doing? right? You're not doing anything, you're not bleeding the air, just waste your time. But what are we looking to do with a stream check? We're looking to obviously bleed the air. We're looking to make sure we have a workable stream. If you open that line, especially here operating with the smoothbore 7/8 tip, you're gonna know right away if you have a workable stream. If you don't have enough water, you're gonna see it right away. You're gonna have a kink in the line. You're gonna have a crappy stream, okay? Using a fog nozzle, okay, a little bit more important because it is gonna adjust a little bit to those pressures. So again, opening it, giving the pump operator a chance to set pressures is the key to this, right? Static water, they can set and preset all they want, but if we have a series of kinks, we don't have a workable stream, we're never gonna know it. So you gotta flow. So what we say here at the Fire Academy is 7 to 10 seconds to your stream check, right? In reality, if you do it for 5, I'm good with it. But I have to get you to at least open that line, get the air out, give the pump operator a chance to set pressures. Another thing that usually comes up, where do I do it? How do I check my stream? Well, again, look at what you have. What's the scenario? What's the job, right? If I have a first floor fire here and it's clearly indicated as I open this door that there's active fire on that floor, open your stream and stream check into the building. Okay, too many times on a tight stoop or walking up to a building or on a tight stairwell, charging floor below, people are with the hose line, they're like, oh, I gotta turn around and do my stream check. Watch out, brother, let me move the line. Okay, there's fire on that floor. Guess what? That little water you're gonna put into it, it's not gonna really do anything. Okay, you're going multi-stories, you're going to the 3rd floor below, no fire on that floor, all right, get off to the side and check your stream. But let's just, be a little reality in with this, right? Do what's right, but without slowing us down, all right? So we're gonna open our stream real quick, we'll do our stream check. And everybody's a little bit different. All right, 7 to 10 seconds, making sure they have a working stream. All right, he got 5, he's good. He's got a good break over the stream.
We'll get to the action of the hallway advance in just a bit. First though, question 3. Time to open the front door and analyze what you see.
Opening this door, a couple things, and again, I'll tell you, a lot of things that I'm gonna tell you are my way through experience. It's not the way, so please don't take it as such, it's just my opinion. You take the door, we have reported fire in the back of a residential dwelling. You open this door, right? We're creating a flow path. Depending on the size of the box, how big the compartment is, what's going on, it's gonna show us, the turbulent smoke or however we're gonna view that. So we open the door. If I can see that neutral plane defined, right? Think about a building you go to. If your bread and butter is capes, you're going to grandma's cape. Everybody knows the layout of a cape. You pop a door in a cape and fire on the first floor. Right away, it's going to indicate to you that the fire's on the first floor. Why? Small box. Okay, so you're going to pop that door. You're going to get that intake. You're going to get that exhaust. You're going to create that flow path. You're going to start to create that flow path. And if you weren't sure where the fire was, and it's starting to indicate that neutral plane, whether if the box is small, that neutral plane might be a little bit lower. If it's a deep-seated or bigger area, it might be a little bit higher. But if you can see that defined line of a neutral plane, there's a good chance that the fire's on that floor, okay? That's a lifesaver, okay? Especially in an industry now where fires are not what they used to be as far as frequency. So for younger nozzle people in the fire service, they might not get the opportunity to go to some fires that some of you may have gone to over the years.
Question 4. How can you read the fire conditions better?
Too many times, over the years, you come in behind a nozzle crew to do a search, and the nozzleman is sitting there with the nozzle just straight against a wall, not really being effective. So through these techniques, that's what we're trying to overcome, to work smarter and not harder. I hate to say it like that because, but it's true, right? How can we work to be effective on the fireground, to be quick and efficient? That's what we want, quick and efficient movements. What I like to do for my nozzle person too is get down on your belly really quick and look at the layout, okay? Because if we're so worried about getting to the front steps and getting water, doing our stream check and masking up, okay, my opinion, I like you to get water, do your stream check. You should be comfortable and confident. We have 25 seconds, you'll be able to get your mask on quick. The whole putting your mask on, while you're flaking hose, to me, just never worked. You're fogging up your mask, you're really not getting a chance to see what you're looking at. So if you can get down on your belly really quick and get a layout of the building, you can get a layout of the floor. Hey, I might be able to see, a hallway, a doorway. Oh, there's a tile floor, there's carpet. That's gonna kind of give me an understanding of, all right, maybe that's the kitchen's there, or I can see where kind of I'm going instead of blindly. So if I can get down and look and see a layout, I know, all right, I'm going right there. There's the hallway, I'm going. And as a nozzle person stretching by themselves, or sliding down a hallway, and we'll show you a little bit how to pin and move, it's gonna be a lot quicker, okay? One thing I like to do with the tick, some nozzle people don't carry ticks. If you're the officer, you're coming up, or you're the number 2 guy coming up behind the nozzleman, as soon as before we go ahead and open up on that, put the tick in front of the nozzle person, hit him on the shoulder and say, look, okay, what are we looking at? Well, to the naked eye, we're looking at just turbulent smoke moving. But in the tick, we're seeing heat currents. And if I could show you where heat currents are coming from, if they're wrapping, if this is a cape and there's a fire in a bedroom down the hallway, and I open this door and I got good smoke pushing, right? I'm getting that intake exhaust, and I'm getting good smoke pushing. If I can hit that tick really quick and see those heat currents wrapping the corner, that's a huge advantage for the nozzle person. Because now right from here, as soon as they slide into the door, they can get that stream up, start to pull that common area. They know where to point the stream, right? If they didn't, and they just went in and thought, all right, I'm gonna start hitting here and working, right? Maybe not be as effective as you want to be. So those are kind of the teaching points that I like to do with that. So if we want to slide in just a little bit further. So if we slid in a little bit and went through those motions and we checked the tick really quick, and we can see fires communicating out of this common hallway because, you know, it's getting into that, the flow path has been created. I like to use the simple fireman terms of hot to cold. Some people use high pressure, low pressure, whatever you want to do, but understand one thing, right? In simple firefighter terms, whatever opening you create in a building, it's creating hot to cold. It's gonna find it. So if we open this door and we don't put water on the fire, eventually what's gonna happen? This flow path that's been created, it's gonna move down and march out of this hot to cold. Okay, that's how I like to look at it, very, very simple terms.
Before we dive into nozzle techniques, let's get a bonus tip on the smoothbore versus fog debate.
I think there's a lot of departments that are struggling with an internal argument between going smoothbore or staying fog. And this nozzle checks a lot of boxes. It gives you a dispersed pattern. It's low operating pressure, meaning low reaction force. It's high volume. It's a solid bore stream. The fins can mechanically agitate foam. So if you're using more of a Class A foam, that's going to be a friendly option for you versus trying to do a foam tube. So you've got a few things on the Vortex that are unique. If you want to learn more about the Vortex nozzle or any other of our smoothbore suite, check out tft.com/shop.
Back in Connecticut, it's time to make the push inside. Question 5, what nozzle technique does Pete recommend?
So if we went into, I just want you to open the line and I want you to do just floor to ceiling and whip it around pretty fast.
Okay.
I want you to look, where's the water really going? Yeah, I'm getting some water up, right? But really, where is it going? It's really not effective, okay? The fire's in a bedroom. The fire is not in the hallway, okay? So the fire, so what I did is I started to hit a little bit up top, but am I really doing anything to control that or cool that hallway? All right, say the bedroom was very close to that hallway. Now we might even start seeing fire wrapping around that corner. So if I'm just to open up a little bit from here from a position of advantage, all right, and I just get that nozzle up and watch the deflection. All right, watch the deflection. And I go here, if I fire wrapping around the corner, watch the deflection, right? Or I go back and forth a little bit and I paint, right? Look at where the water is actually going. Right, up, over. Then this, where's the water going? It's going nowhere, right? So for years, we taught hose work like that. Go in, ceiling, wall, floor. Work. Hit, and move. Right? To me, it's a recruit competency skill set. Now, I'm not telling you that, listen, you're moving into an area that's fully involved, you got a good room of fire going. Yeah, you got to come down, you got to sweep the floor. You got to start to cool it a little bit. I'm a nozzle person that always advanced from my knees. I never did a leg up. I just felt more stable on the ground. So I'm low and I'm advancing from my knees. So I had to sweep the floor time to time. But think about it, you're going down that hallway. Where's the fire? It's not on the floor. It's coming out of a back bedroom, it's rolling out into the hallway. We're witnessing fire gases and rollover burn. So if we're not getting an effective stream to cool that common area, I come in now as a rescue company or truck company, hey bro, knock that down real quick so I can get by you and get to the bedroom. I need you to get that stream down the hallway really quick, slow down that common hallway so I can tuck into another room. Instead of you sitting there like this, working the whole hallway, it's not efficient, it's not quick. Make sense? Yep. All right, so let's slide in a little bit.
Finally, phase 6. What can I do to control the hallway and put out the fire?
fire, again, is communicating either out of this room initially or that far of the room, we want to look at where the water's going in the hallway, right? How it's effectively cooling the hallway, how it's effectively going to kick that fire and reset it back into that room until we can get to it, for sure. So if we look at this and open up, I want you to do the big whip pattern. Yep, we're doing the whip. All right, so again, as you can see, you're moving a little bit of water around, but again, if it's coming out of that door, or it's coming out of this door or that door, right, how effective is it? All right, it's moving water for sure. But now, again, if I just pin myself against the wall here, right, and that fire's communicating again out of that room, again, if I just do that, look at the water now where it's going, right? I drop down a little bit, I come back up, I go across, look at my deflection, right? I'm cooling the fire gases in that hallway, right? No need to sweep the floor right now because the fire's not communicating out, it's only here. So again, by deflecting off the ceiling, coming across, painting, back, I put a significant hit on that fire. So now at this point, if you gate it down just halfway, he's a single nozzle person at this time, right? Backup person might be pre-staging hose for the job, getting it in here, right? So if we just look at this, a little bit of hose in here for you. So I'm pre-staging the room. As I'm doing that, he's going to slide down the hallway, keeping pinned up against the wall. Use the wall as an anchor for him. So he's going to slide down, keep going. Keep going, stop right there, open up high. All right, so now, look at his swing motion. He's in the room. Stay down, slide, turn into the room. All right, then more of a paint, sweep, move in. Open up, fire down, shut. That easily, that room is out with minimal effort, right? So often, when we want to debate and talk about, well, the patterns, right? I don't know if you like O, Z, T, do whatever you want to do, okay? This is only to talk about the efficiency of getting water where it needs to be. You could see the difference, okay? You can see what the water is doing. And if you don't like the term water mapping, some people get very offended by water mapping. Oh, we don't want to say water mapping. Okay, call it whatever you want. Get water where it needs to be. We're distributing water to suppress, to cool the common hallway, to move in and knock the fire out. We actually, from the hallway, reset that fire back into this area. Okay, we slowed it down a little bit, we kicked it back in. As a single person nozzle, and I know I'm gonna get the argument, well, there shouldn't be a one person line. I get it, but decide what department, where you work and what's the reality of it, right? We're talking about experience to reality teaching, not giving you what you want to hear from either the representative or the book, right? Okay, so to understand what do I have to do to be effective in a residential house fire? To me, through experience, this has worked very well. Control the area. Now we have off bedrooms here. Okay, just because the fire was down here, we have off bedrooms. If we don't control that flow path of that common area, I come along, I'm gonna do an unprotected search and we're hopping by you and getting in front of you. If we're just letting that go until we get to this point with a line, we may lose the hallway. It might start to layer off and it might start to roll a little bit. So you control that area for search crews to get in and operate and do what they have to do. And then by working in here, getting the water to do what it wanted. What was the effort like down there? Wasn't much.
Yeah,
right. But so say you were on air and you're 25 seconds through and now you're coming down the hallway and you're moving and you're moving. What happens when we're really, really whipping that line? What happens? Slides in, right? Slides in. Then you gotta, oh, I'm tired, I gotta reset, right? What are you gonna hear from the guys in the firehouse? Oh, I had too much meatloaf tonight. Oh my God, I shouldn't eat so much, right? And I'm exhausted and I'm going down the hallway and I'm working. If you can pin yourself, keep that line up, and there's always gonna be, well, how much line is too much, okay? We've seen it from where we don't want it creeped in here because you're not getting the efficiency of the nozzle, you're not getting the movement you may need because you're tight, right? Got a little dinosaur arms and a little tight. Sometimes it's too far. Some people, in my opinion only, will go too far and it looks like a telephone pole out front. And it's like this, and they're whipping. Now listen, you could do that with low pressure usually, but if this line is being pumped properly and you got that line way out and you're not an experienced nozzle person, you will get a little bit of nozzle whip from it, okay? Again, that's your comfort level. You can pull it off and it works for you, have at it. What I like to do is make sure it's an arm's length out. If I can touch the nozzle, that's usually a good position. If I can touch the tip like this before I'm ready to open up, I usually have a good amount of line out front of the work. And you saw how easy it was, right? Couple movements, right? You can use whatever terms. I like to either paint the hallway. I like to keep it straight for deflection. You know, every now and again, I might come down if I thought I was moving into an area that was on fire. Again, to me, it's about working smarter and more efficient. So by getting that water where we needed it to be, we've controlled the initial flow path in the residential. We controlled the common hallway, which we had to get down to search. We got to the fire room, and you notice when he came into the fire room, he went a little bit to a Z or L or a circle pattern, because that's what you have to do. You got to put everything out, right? We're not just talking about remote water application and call it a day. A remote water application until you get to the fire. And then it should be business as usual. We got the water there quickly and efficiently from a position of advantage. We slowed down the process. I think it works very well. Good.
And a special bonus for you, the after party with Pete Morotto.
And just in my opinion, with dealing with nozzle movements, and it was probably me being either naive to it years ago, or this was just the way I was taught and this is the way I was going to teach it to you. And it was as fast as you can whip the line around and as hard as you could move, right? And again, it's great for recruit competency skills. It really is. But I was finding the effectiveness on the Fireground wasn't there because we were losing too much of, oh, I'm exhausted. Oh, the nozzle's creeping in. I can't hold it. I can't do it. And we weren't getting water to where it needed to be. So you can see very easily here that by holding it tight, pinning yourself, making sure you have a good hold on what your gets, it gets you really to clamp down on that line, keep that nozzle in that arm's length. And those slow movements, you're putting water, you're putting gallonage where it needs to be instead of exhausting yourself.
Right.
And again, a lot of fires go out that way.
Yeah.
I'm not going to say it's not, but I'm just thinking of ways that we could tweak it to be a little bit smarter while we're moving hose lines.
Yeah.
And that was my approach. And listen, it's not something I came up with. This is something I learned that was taught to me through looking through the UL studies and looking through really what water mapping meant, and then just trying to make it practical for staffing situations in the different communities, either A, that I work in or I teach in. And that's pretty much my take on that.
Yeah. So I mean, the interesting part for me is the, hey, this fire's rolling and I've got to work like mad to put it out. And so this idea of the nozzle, you know, encompassing the entire floor to ceiling and wall, I understand that reaction, but it's like slow down, take a breath. And you talked about, you know, banking off a wall, banking off a door frame, sweep the floor on occasion, but it's like, get the water
Listen,
high.
the floor's on fire.
Yeah.
Like
yeah,
sweep it,
take
but
care
we're
of
going
it.
down a hallway and we're like, we're putting all this water on the floor. There's no fire on the floor.
Right.
Nothing's on fire in that area, but the fire gas is over your head.
Right.
And we're wasting our time with that.
Isolate the fire.
Isolate, kick it back, control it. Same principle as transitional attack. And I know some people, they get very offended when you say the word transitional attack. Well, you're ruining the fire service. No. I'm not telling you to put water through a window and stand outside for 10 minutes. Not. But I am telling you as a nozzle person walking up to something, control it quick, right? If you have to slow it down so you can get a good ongoing size up so you know now as you go interior where you need to go, well, that might be the reality for some. Okay, not everybody has 2 engine companies on one hand line. If we did, we could merge through any building and it wouldn't matter. But that's not the reality. Even in busy departments, it's not the reality because you might just have 2 people on a line. So to really come in, and it's not about taking a beat and it's going down a hallway, right? We throw on our Superman suits and we can go in and take a real beat. What are we accomplishing? It's not quick and efficient, right? If I can come in and there's an untenable position, a room is well off, right? Survivability profile, whatever buzzwords you want to use to talk about that. If there's nothing going on, that room is fully off and it's out 2 windows as I get to the porch, and I quickly just deflect off the doorways or off the top of the window just to slow that down, darken it down, or rake across the room real quick. Then get over here, get in position, start to do my business from here, and then move in. To me, that's being smarter, right? It's being smarter. We're slowing down the situation. Again, we talked a little bit before about unprotected searches. If your department's going to unprotected search, all that's going on this first floor, there's crews passing you to get to the second floor immediately, right? Immediately, almost before you're ready to do your stream check, right? Because if you're moving, you're quick, you're off a rescue, you're off a truck company, you don't have a hose line, you can move pretty quick, right? So you get in, you're already in the stairwell, you're going above, right? If we're not, I don't want to put water, I don't want to slow this down, I want to go inside and push the fire out, what's that doing to interior conditions in the common area, common hallway, and of course the stairwells, right? So again, working smarter.
To find the right nozzle for your next residential fire, head to tft.com/shop and use the filter tools to get just the right one for you and your situation.